Absolutely, it's hurt my business. My business has been down in the last 3 or 4 years.
A downtown business owner frustrated after another incident at the restaurant next door. Good evening, I'm John Nicely. Mallory is off this evening. An overnight shooting shaking things up in the old market as police were called to 11th and Harney just as the bars were closing. As Jessica Gill reports, this isn't the first time police have been called to that location, and it's because of that one business owner claims he is losing business.
It was just after 2 a.m. Police were called here to 11th and Harney. That's where Maria Sangria's is located. That establishment is open, but only because the owner has appealed a judge's ruling to strip the bar of its right to operate and to serve alcohol. Brandon Henry, owner of Michael's Cantina next door, says the place has had more than its fair share of run-ins with the law. So no, he says last night's incident does not surprise him.
And obviously we don't know if, specifically if they're to blame for this particular latest incident. But I did notice there was a large crowd in there, so it crossed my mind a little bit that maybe something might occur, but I hoped it wouldn't.
We reached out to the owner's son, that's Nick Scalise, and while he wouldn't go on camera, he says there were no problems at his mother's establishment New Year's Eve. He says Brandon is simply out to bring down his family's business. Now, we checked with the city, and since 2013, police have responded to about a dozen disturbance and/or assault calls and more than a dozen criminal conduct calls at Maria Sangria's. For his part, Scalise says the city of Omaha and police are unfairly targeting the business. Scalise also says the parking lot across the street is a hotbed for mischief. Either way, it looks like this could be the final straw for the restaurant and bar. The State Liquor Commission wants them shut down immediately.
We have a zero tolerance for violence. And this is one of the most egregious bars that I have seen in my years at the Liquor Commission.
Perhaps music to the ears of Henry. He says this kind of activity is severely impacting his business.
People are fearful. I know personally I don't want to go to an area where shootings occur on a fairly regular basis.
But according to Scalise, Michael's is losing business because of competition. Now, according to Bob Batt, the chairman of the State Liquor Commission, while Maria Sangria's appeal is being reviewed, they are under strict orders that the second and third floors are not to be used for business, just that first floor and for restaurant purposes only. Now, Scalise tells me, yes, the second floor was being used for New Year's Eve festivities last night, but John, he's calling it a balcony level, not technically the second floor, which according to him is part of the restaurant. Reporting live with photographer Jim Hinchick, I'm Jessica Gill, WOWT 6 News.
And the victim is suffering non-life-threatening injuries from that shooting last night. She is Mackenzie Cope, 25 years old. In fact, today is her birthday. Police arriving in the area spotted a man firing a gun. Tontavious Montgomery was booked for possession of an unregistered firearm and discharging a firearm in city limits. He's 22. Investigators don't know if he was responsible for the shooting that wounded Cope.